Hi, it's Michael Sinoff with Michael Sinoff's HardToFindSeminars.com. The title of this interview is called How to Be Strategic with Your Content and Make It Have Purpose and Repurpose. It doesn't matter what kind of business you're running, being strategic with your content will save you time, bring in targeted customers, increase your affiliate sales, and make you more money. And in this interview, you'll hear how to do that from marketing expert Stu McLaren. Stu says you can create content anywhere. He does audio interviews, tele-seminars, home lessons, and consulting all from his home, out in the middle of nowhere, with just a computer, telephone, and microphone. But it's actually what he does with the content after he creates it that makes him different from other marketers. When Stu does a typical hour-long interview, first he sells the interview to make money off the top. Then, while he's talking, he'll purposely section off his information into 12 5-minute chunks. That way he can go back later and easily repurpose those into bite-sized chunks of information to give to affiliates, to generate leads, to create products, and to submit to podcast directories. And that's just a few of his tips. Here are some others you'll learn in this interview. You'll learn 2 ways to get inside the mind of your customers and know exactly what content they're looking for. You'll hear the simple tricks Stu uses to fill his high-end seminars fast, and he only had 7 people registered with only 4 weeks left to go. You'll learn why it's so important to establish joint venture relationships before you actually need them, and the fastest and best way to do that. You'll learn tips on pricing products, including how to entice people to jump on a price, when to give your product away for free, and how Stu separates the freebie seekers from those who will break out their credit cards. You'll learn exactly what to do with your raw content that will quickly get it polished up and ready for the market. You'll learn why you should never wait until a product is perfect to send it out, and how to use an updated version to draw past customers back to you. Stu says that when it comes to content, the most important thing you can do is make sure you're continuously creating it and moving forward. You should also give as much information away for free as you can. If you leave prospects wondering what else could there possibly be, they'll likely become customers to find out. And in this audio interview, you'll hear more tips and tricks from this award-winning marketer. Now let's get going.
Hi, this is Raven Blair Davis, and I've teamed up with Michael Sinoff's HardToFindSeminars.com.
Tell us quickly about that award.
I was really honored. Anik and his team over there at Affiliate Classroom, they're starting a whole new certification program, and I think it's a wonderful thing. You know, it really helps bring some standard to the affiliate marketing industry, and I was really privileged and honored to be recognized as somebody who is, blazing a trail in the industry and really making things happen. So, yeah, it was quite the award. It took me by surprise when I first found out, that's for sure.
Was there 4 others?
Yeah, there was 4 others. The big one for me was Sean Collins. He's a young guy, but he's more like the grandfather of the affiliate marketing industry. And to be recognized alongside him, it really was a privilege. And then there was Brock and Caroline Tang, 2 other great people who have really made a lot of things happen in the affiliate marketing industry. So I was alongside some pretty awesome company.
How did you get into creating content?
Well, content has always been really important. I mean, when you are running an information business or whether you're selling products and services, content is king because the more educated your consumers are, the more likely they're going to want to invest in your products and services. So, whether you're selling hard goods, soft goods, doesn't matter. Content is always king, and that was really prevalent for me in the information marketing business, both with my own but also with my clients. And so I recognized very early on that creating content and creating products is something that you need to do on a regular basis, because if you're not, then your business is standing still. But as long as you're creating and moving forward, then you're making the kind of progress you want. So this was something that I recognized very early on, both in my business and for my clients, and that's why I've put such a huge emphasis on creating products and creating content on a regular basis. I live up here in a small town about an hour and a half south of Toronto, so I'm out in the middle of nowhere. And yet I'm still able to create high-quality products, even with my telephone, and I've got, a microphone here in front of me as well, so I get 2 recordings. And the great thing is, you can capture content very easily. We're doing it here in a simple conversation, and I'm doing it from a small town out in the middle of nowhere in southern Ontario, Canada. And yet that will now quickly turn around and be produced for an online product, an offline product. It can be on book format. There's so many ways to repurpose what we're doing here today. So it can be done literally anywhere in the world. As long as you've got a phone and a voice, you're off to the races. There's a number of different approaches that you can take when it comes to creating products using a phone. My preference is definitely to do interview-type products because they can be a lot more relaxed and it's a lot less scripted. But now there's a couple perspectives you need to think about. If you are the person interviewing somebody else, you need to be a little more prepared because you need to have some questions set up and structured so that the call will flow and that you can get through some content. If you're the person being interviewed, there's actually a little less pressure because as long as you know your stuff, then you just go with the questions and, give people content based on what you know. So I find it a little bit easier on the side of the person being interviewed versus the one who is actually interviewing others. So if you're interviewing others, you do need to be more prepared. You need to have questions set up in advance, and I think that goes a long way to show the quality of what you create, because if you're not prepared, there can be some awkward, or I call them pregnant pauses, where it's awkward silence and things of that nature, and the other person doesn't know which way to go. But if you're prepared ahead of time with questions, the call will flow really well. So interview-type audio products are my favorite, the fastest ones, I think, to get created and get cranked out. Then you can do all kinds of other products. You can do where you're teaching lessons of material over the phone. We've done several big home study courses that way where we have multiple modules. We break it down and teach the content over several calls. Obviously, with those, you do need to be more organized. You need to have an outline and some major points that you want to cover. I don't script mine word for word. I find that it takes away from the flow of the call and the personality behind the call. I like to have some major structure as far as bullet points and an outline, and then go with the content based on what I know. I find that a little more easy for myself, but also I think it comes off sounding a lot better as well. So mine aren't scripted word for word, but there are people that do that. So, it just depends on your preference. But mine, when I'm teaching a lesson, I like to have an outline, some major bullet points, and then I go through and cover those in detail. Oftentimes, you don't have to work that hard to know what questions to ask. What you need to do is put yourself in the shoes of the people who would be listening to this content. How do you do that? Well, there's a number of ways. If you have the ability to get in front of those people, meaning you have a way to communicate with your target audience ahead of time, you can set up what's called an Ask campaign. Now, I use a tool called the Ask database. And basically what it allows you to do is collect questions from your audience, and it then sorts it so that you can see the most popular questions and you can see the most popular words that people are wanting to know more about and things of that nature. So it's a great tool for collecting and organizing and managing large amounts of questions. When you do an Ask campaign like this, it's going to give you a ton of information, because it really helps you get inside the mind of the consumer as far as what they're wanting to know, what questions they have, where they're getting stuck, and that really gives you a wonderful foundation to really build from when it comes to creating the content or the questions for your interview. The other way, if you don't have a target audience that you can communicate with, what I like to do is go inside public forums in groups. If you go to Google Groups or Yahoo Groups, you'll be able to search and find groups of people who are continuously talking about certain topics. And inside of there, it's inevitable that you'll find all kinds of questions or areas where people are getting stuck. And again, you follow the similar model that we talked about with the Ask database. You go in there looking to find questions, looking to find problems and challenges that people are having with your particular subject area, and then you pull those out and then start working with those, because that's where the market is stuck. That's the information they want to know. So not only with Google Groups and Yahoo Groups, but you can do it with forum. If you go onto Google and you type in your keyword related to your topic plus forum or plus message board, you'll have all kinds of places and locations that people in your marketplace are going, talking to one another, chatting, and really asking each other questions and sharing information. This is a gold mine, folks, for great questions that you can pull from and use for your own content. And then if you want to take it a step further, with the amount of blogs that are being used online, this also serves as a fantastic resource. And you can find, the most popular blogs in your particular niche if you go to technorati.com. Technorati is Technorati. There's a wide variety of things that you can do. I mean, you can do keyword searches based on keywords related to your industry, and you'll see the top blogs. What I like to do is go to the top blogs where a lot of people are visiting them on a regular basis and just see what topics are being covered. Go through the comments that people are leaving on the blogs. That, too, will give you tremendous insight as to what people want to know, which, again, will help you formulate your questions for your interview. For example, very recently we were putting together a product, and one of the things that we immediately needed was some testimonials. Now, oftentimes it can be a laborious process for somebody to, put together an audio testimonial for you. What we did was we just called the people up that we knew were raving fans about our particular product and said, hey, would you mind just telling us, what you think about the product? And boom, they gave us a testimonial right there on the phone, and we recorded that. Now, you can use testimonials a wide variety of different ways. Number one, you can obviously use it on any sales letter or marketing materials that you are creating to help sell your product. But I want to encourage you to take it a step further. What if you could create some type of a booklet or package or information PDF or report or things of that nature where you profile or give case studies of people using your products and services? Now, there's a testimonial built into a case study, and that's why calling up your best customers, talking to them ahead of time, saying, hey, would you be interested in just giving us your point of view and telling us about how you're using the product and how you benefited from the product or which ways you're using it versus some others that you've heard, and just really getting some good case studies and profiling your best customers can be a wonderful way to not only add value to people interested in your products or services, but again, it's a built-in testimonial at the same time. So that's another way. It's very simple, and it's all done through audio again. And the reason it works so well is because people don't get spooked by just talking on the phone. It's something that they do on a regular basis every day of the week. So calling somebody up and just talking to them normally on the phone is a very comfortable atmosphere. When you get into a situation and you ask somebody to record you something or do something on video and all this stuff, the amount of technology involved goes way up, and therefore the amount of people that get spooked by it or aren't comfortable with it goes way up as well. So that's why you want to make sure that you keep the complications to a minimum. You want to make it easy and friendly, and using the phone is definitely one of those ways. So we use it a wide variety of different ways. We do interview products. We teach content as far as modules. We do tele-seminars. We do sales presentations. We do trainings. We do testimonial captures. There's a whole bunch of different ways that we use the phone, but they're all in a comfortable format that everybody is used to using.
Hi, it's Michael Senoff with HardToFindSeminars.com. Thanks for watching this video. Many of my interviews last 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, sometimes even up to 2.5 hours long. They're actual mini-seminars, and you've just listened to a short sample of just one of over 117 hours of exciting, hard-hitting, mind-blowing interviews on how to make money in direct mail, advertising, copywriting. I assure you, there is not a resource anywhere on the internet or on the planet that comes close to the free information I provide at HardToFindSeminars.com. So go right now to HardToFindSeminars.com, and you'll have free access to 117 hours of audio interviews with typed word-for-word downloadable transcripts and downloadable MP3 files. Please browse some more of the videos or go right directly to HardToFindSeminars.com. Thanks for watching.